Alright, we're back for video number 2. Everything's still the same, I just changed stuff in real life. Anyway, what are we doing now? Where's my pen? I need to cross off that we fixed mana drain. And now we're going to test out 3 more words. See if they're working as intended. So, project, assets, prefabs, UI prefabs, magic, actual words. What are we looking for? Last time we tested out action output. So now we want to do aura other. So let me explain what this thing does. Basically, let's say you want to shoot a magic spike at the other character. How do you designate like where you want to shoot it at the other character? This is exactly that. You would shoot it at a specified point somewhere here. And these, I think I'm looking at it backwards. These right here, I believe, are input fields, and it'll probably be a different system at some point, but ultimately you just put in a number and that corresponds to a point around the player. So how are we going to test this? Well, we're going to need an opponent for our character, and the only current thing that we have that actually could act like that is another character. But I do not want to do multiplayer in this tutorial because there wasn't a lot of tutorials about it when I researched. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to take our player. We're going to Control D to duplicate him. We're going to make a second going to make a second player, and we're going to disable kind of everything related to input or actually controlling it. I think we just need the test magic and not going to need the camera. We do need that. Don't need the canvas. That would be interesting, though, to eventually have a magic word that can access another person's magic spell and affect it somehow. But we won't worry about that. All we really need is the aura base and the other aura base, which are these yellow and blue points you see everywhere. 1 second. I like to have these smaller. Alright, so that's that. Let's continue disabling scripts. We won't need that for this test. Hold on a second. Whatever. We're not dealing with that. Spaceship controller. We don't need the ship controller. Magic script. Main melee. Ah! Nope. It's accessing the wrong guy. Okay. Everything's ready, I believe. So if we hit play, this guy won't be an issue at all. Let's see, can we target him? Targeting is working. Not working on this guy. So, one last thing. I'm going to go to this guy, and we're going to change his tag to whatever this tag is. Enemy. We're going to change this tag from player to enemy. Now display, we should be able to target him. Okay, targeting script is working. We are moving with super speed right now, but that's because I don't like taking time for just tests. Oh, we can knock him over. That's kind of interesting. Can I send him flying? Whatever. Let's construct a spell really fast. What spell do we want to do to this guy? Let's make our sword appear at this blue point right on top. So, and this would be useful because you could make a sword like appear directly in front of where they're moving, and then they just impale themselves on it. That's the idea, at least. Of course, it won't be perfectly finished in this, but yeah. Let us go into our prefab for our character. Let's change our spell up. Okay. The output needs to go. Now we want a UI prefab. And magic, actual words, aura, other. Cool, cool. We're gonna put it right there first, then put it here. Let's move it right there. I do not remember how the script itself works. And I don't remember exactly why there's two input fields. Maybe... yeah, I don't remember why. Add transform integer horizontal add. Okay, let's see. Two, what does this one do? Oh, I see. So these are buttons. And initially what I was planning on doing was having just a bunch of tiny buttons that represented each point that the player could just click on. But that has since changed. Well, I don't know if it's really changed, so we'll just take advantage of that system. I guess that means that we are anticipating having multiple points specified, which isn't going to work. So first thing, we are going to go into this guy's prefab, and we are going to only have 1 point specifiable. Magic or other, only 1 point for now. And the reason why we're doing only 1 point is because the way I later decided it would work is if you wanted to move something from 1 point to another, you would just have multiple of these guys in a row. Okay, anyway, prefabs, back to here. We only have 1 point now. And for now, we're going to have to manually change which integer it is. So let's figure out really quickly which integer this blue one is. Which is kind of annoying because, yeah, it would be under our believe. Yes. Under the blues. Oh, let's get out of 2D mode. Okay. It's the second to last one there. Is it the second to last one here? Yes. So that is element 10. Which means, if we go back to 2D mode, zoom back out. Go back to here. This is going to be set to 10. Now, the reference alone isn't enough to make a spell. This is just a reference node. We need a thing to do with that reference. So, what are we gonna do? We want to instantiate a sword at this point. So, I guess we might be fixing 2 for 1 today. Or 3. So we're gonna need an instance of the sword. Which, actually, I think this is what this does. This is what... This already takes an instance of the sword. But we just haven't deleted it because it really hasn't stopped any of the other scripts from working, or the other spells. So this already takes an instance of the sword for us. Now we want to instantiate an instance of the sword. So we need an instantiate thing, which we've already shown has worked in the past when we duplicated the sword into our other hand. This should be exactly the same, except that it duplicates the sword and puts it above the other guy's head. So, I believe this one? Object instance instantiate, object instance move. Alright. Now, let us check what we are doing. And this is going to be set to 10. And this one, what is this? This we don't have to touch. If I remember right, base linear has a... Oh no. Take instance, body player. So the triangle is the parent of the reference. So we're going to put that there. And this here. And we're going to do that. Okay. Let's save this. So file save project, and give it a whirl. We need to have a target, like that. Now have a target, and I believe when we left click, it should still do the spell. So left click. It did the spell, or it did something. It took mana, but nothing happened. let's check the console for errors. No errors. Very suspicious. Hmm. Well, just realized maybe instead of stopping it, we should pause it. Pause it. Exit out of that. And here's what we want to do. We want to go to here. No, we want to check if the target is actually put into the spell correctly. Okay, so we want to go into 2D mode actually. We're going to want to zoom all the way out so that we can see our UI. And want to go here. It has not, it doesn't have the target. Maybe that doesn't matter. Does this have the target? No. Does this have the target? Pieces, player, target. No. Okay. So, target. The target has not come to the base, and therefore has not gone to anything else. I suspect. So, what's in charge of putting the target into the base? Let's see. Target is equal to null. Target equals target. Let's see what we got going on here in the... Oh, we don't need that. We do need that, and I don't think we need that. So the test magic script is in charge of finding the target, which I believe it should. I believe it does do successfully, so let's check it first. Test magic script, we already had it open. Let's see if we get the target. When we actually target it. We do get the target indeed. Base check. For each transform in base parent, component base. If base 1 dot target is not equal to null. What is that check? This might be our problem right here. So I'm gonna comment that out. Oh, I think it was supposed. I don't want to delete it in case I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be if target is not equal to null, then base 1 target is supposed to equal target. Dot transform. Okay, so that looks about right. Now, let's try it. We've targeted, we left click. Okay, spell didn't work still. But let's see if all these things actually got the target. Okay, base has the target. This thing has the target. This thing has the target. Whatever this is doesn't have the target. Mana Finder. This doesn't have the target. And this doesn't have the target. I don't know if they need the targets though. Let's check to see what this thing does when it's supposed to have a target. This is the one that creates the instance. Okay. Dear. Oh dear. Okay. Let's shrink this down and look at the names. Take instance is equal to true. Take instance is equals to false. Move. Okay, so it looks like I put all of the... I put 3 words in the same script, which is rather silly looking back on it, but that's what I did. So we'll just work with it. Move object thing, not what we're looking for. Instantiate object thing is what we're looking for. And it requires an int, take ins, a bool is instance self, and a bool is target self. Well, it has a debug, and it's called temp object has been made. I just messed it up. Control C to fix it. Let's see if that debug is in the console here. No, it's not. Okay, so what have we got going on here? This was never called. Or at least the debug never happened. So target is null, player assigned to trigger, base checking, it detects something, base checking, animator, base use function is add or subtracting mana, shown, and blah blah blah, damage is 6. Interesting. Taking magic damage currently. What's up? I'm sure something goes here. Okay. Target is null. Where did that come from? Does that just happen at the very start? Yes, it does. Okay. This isn't being called. I suspect it might be missing one of these. Because this works when we have it paired with oh, that's still going. When we have it paired not with the other player's aura field, but with our own player's body, it works. So that means whatever the deal is, it's having an issue maybe with this. Oh. Aura Find Zone doesn't have anything in the use function. I'm going to confirm in a second, but I suspect what goes here is something that gets the parent and tells the parent the integer list. And the way I can confirm this is by checking a word that does work and does a similar thing. So, aura player. Or actually it's body player. Yes, this. The one that's still in there. Wait, is it still in there? We gotta check if that's still in there. What is this? This is taking an instance from the player. Okay, that's fine. But okay. Well, it uses the exact same script. What does that mean? Uses the exact same script, which means whatever the issue is not in either of these. it's in this. It's either in this or it's in the base. So, object creation. Let's see what it does in the use function. Get component in children or a find zone. That's what this is. If take instance is equal to true, which it's not going to be, so we can ignore that. Move instance, it's not going to be. It's going to be make. Oh. So if take instance is equal to false and move instance is equal to false, this is where we want to be. Transform list is equal to AZF or zone find, which transforms or which OR zones. Oh, okay. I just had a neat remembrance. Why is this a list instead of just an integer? And the reason is, having this as a list allows you to create multiple items at once. So let's say instead of just having one sword over my guy's head, he would have his whole, like, he would just be covered in swords. Just be swords coming in at him from every direction. You would need a list. And then the object creation would make everything in the list. It would make an object for every point in the list. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, if take instance is equal to false and move instance is equal to false, then what? Instantiate object thing. Okay, so this is what happens. AZF use. So we get that because we've seen the I'm sure something goes here line of code, or not line of code, but in the console. Or have we? Yep, right there. Very bottom. I'm sure something goes here. That means the script makes it at least to this point right here. And then transform list equals azf.which OR zones. And just to make sure, let's make sure we have which OR zones, element 10, and just for fun, let's see if the having multiple things works. So we'll say element 10 and 9. So we should have two swords that pop up around the guy, around our target. Anyway, what happens next? Instantiate object thing. What is that? This happens. Take instance. Take an instance. What is that? Where does that come from? Oh, this take an instance should be a variable. Yes. And is self is a bool up here. AZF is self. Okay, so maybe we're missing is self is equal to false. That's right, and this one I suspect is self is equal to true. Yes. So is self is indeed equal to false, which is what we want. What does that mean then? Are we missing? And let's make sure that this is actually happening. So let's do a debug. Debug.log. Instantiate function has been reached. Save it. Let's keep on going. Really quick, I'm gonna make these settings. If I knew how to click, my mouse is dying a little bit. Set this to the lowest setting so that it doesn't take quite as much draw. Alright, let's give it a run. Target, click. Okay. This did not get reached. What if we put it at the very top? Not reached. Okay. That means we're missing something. The use function is not happening. For this guy, at least. Do we have him parented to the right thing? Object instantiate. No. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's see if it works now. Okay. Something happened there. Temp object has been made. But as you can see, there is no swords around this guy. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Public override void use. Base use. AZF get component. Children or find zone. To be honest, this could probably be moved to the start function, but it doesn't really matter for now. AZF.use in this thing. Then we get to here. Take an instance. What is this? Take an instance. Is self and is self. Okay. Where is the instantiate object thing? Okay, do we reach this? What's that message say? Temp object has been made. Temp object has been made. Okay, we have indeed reached that. What does this mean? Is instance self equals to true? Yes. Okay, so it's going to be self other. Is self is equal to true and is target self equal to false. For each integer idest in transformless debug 1 and then RPC instantiate. This the reason why it's called RPC instantiate is because this is sort of in anticipation of using multiplayer stuff, but either way, taken in destination. So the integer idest in transform list, so we give it the actual number. Idest position. My TMS. Oh, look at this. That's why it's not working. That right there is a 0, ladies and gentlemen. But that is not what we want. What that needs to be is this right here. Taken instance. This represents the transform wait a minute. Okay, we need to do a little check here. So, problem with this right here. This is an integer, and this integer corresponds to a point around the player in the aura zone. And this right here is taking an instance. Oh dear, my mouse is really going crazy. Is taking an instance of whatever object it is that we are instantiating. But if I was to just put taken ins right here, which stands for taken instance, this would do I guess it would work. It would work. It would just have an extra empty game object. Okay, that's fine. That is fine, yes. Okay. And now that I'm thinking about it, that might even be better. Because, okay, this is going to make some neat tricks you can do with this. For instance. Okay, you know what? Okay, here's how this kind of works. This copies a point in the aura and body, and then it pastes it in something else's aura and body. And it includes the point that's within the aura and body. Which means that you can put a whole bunch of things on that point and paste all of those things into another point. So maybe you could make a spike ball above your character's head and then transfer it and surround another player with those spike balls. Anyway, that's kind of neat. And this would also allow you to steal another person's weapon. Okay, this is neat. This is neat indeed. Or you could actually steal another person's object that they created with their own magic. Okay, this is super neat. This is literally the best thing ever. But let's see if it works. Let's clear out. What is this? You are pushing more GUI clips than you are popping. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's see if this works now. We need to target. Nothing happened again. Why didn't anything happen? Let's make sure that idest is, or take an instance. Okay. Equals instantiate my tms.orembody take an instance.gameObject at ottms.orembody.idest. And then as a child of orembody idest. Or OTS? OTMS. Idestination. Okay, and let's make sure that this is actually doing the things it's supposed to. Debug dot log parentheses. This will be the taken instance is the toString. All right, nice. And now we make sure that the idest is the right thing. So debug dot log idest, or what are we going to call it? Destination? Destination is, and then plus, what are we looking for? That plus idest toString, and the computer predicted it. I'm gonna add a space there so it's easier to see. Save. Let's give it a try. Let's clear out all of those and hit play. Target. Let's click. Taken instance is 0, and destination is 10 and 9, which is, I believe, what it's supposed to be. So, idest. No. Taken instance is 0. That is why this isn't working. Let's see where it gets taken instance from. Taken instance. What calls? Instance. What the doodle? Okay. This doesn't make any sense. Let's see what we do in the version where it actually works, which is when it's self-self. Instantiate my TMS or run body, transform list to order. What the heck? What is order? If I is greater than transform to .list.count, order is equal to 0. What is order? Instantiate object thing. What the heck? This doesn't make any sense. For each integer I in transform list, if I is greater than transform list up to count. Okay, clearly we have something different going on here. Okay. Order. I think I know what it is. Order is an indexer. I just didn't know what indexers were when I wrote it. So, order I guess order makes sure that you instantiate things in the correct order, which, to be honest, doesn't make a lot of sense. But transform list 2 is, I think, what we're looking for. Let's see what it is. List integer transform list 2 equals new list. Blah blah blah. Okay, so transform list 2. This is the difference between self-self and self-other. Because right now, we just have it as my TMS or embody. Take an instance. We do not need taken instances. What we need is to do transform list 2. And yeah. So it looks like we did it a little backwards. We put the for each loop in this up here instead of down here. Okay, so I think this is just a slight adjustment that we need to do. Integer in idest. Okay. And transform list. So, I think all we could really need to change, let's get rid of that. And that. At least do those first. Then down here. Okay. Jeez Louise. Transform list 2. We want to implement transform list 2. In this right here. So what we'll do, we're going to make an indexer. We're just going to do kind of what we did before. So we'll say int, and I'll just call it temp equals 0. Because that's what it's going to equal first. And we're actually going to put this, Control Z that, Control X, and put it outside of the for each loop. Paste it like that. Integer temp. Whatever. We want it to be set to 0. And then we say, in this for each loop, we're going to go temp plus plus. And then we are actually going to need another thing. We'll stick with the weird naming scheme. We'll call it order, meaning the order that we go through the transforms. And then here we just say temp. This essentially does the same thing down here does, but it'll look cleaner down here, I believe. Oh, what am I doing? This is not right. Yes, it is right. This is right. It won't look cleaner. But now what we go and do is we copy transform list to order from below, and we paste it into here. What does take an instance? Is that an actual variable at the top? It is, but that's weird. There should be an error there. There's not. Okay. I don't quite understand it, and my brain is definitely starting to slip a little bit, but let's give it a try and see if it works now. Target, left click, A. As you can see, we finally got the sword above the guy's head. And it looks like it messed up on the second one for some reason. see what's going on here. The reason why it kind of looks like this is because this is why it's like rotated, is because that's the rotation that it's at down here. And since we copied the empty it was attached to, it kept the rotation. Okay. Okay. Why is it getting upsetty spaghetti? Oh, we didn't do a check. We have a check right here. If I is greater than transform list2.count, order is equal to 0. So we want to copy that and put it up here, and instead of I, it's idest. Now, we stop it, save project, clear all of that, and hit play. Target. It didn't work. Nice. Okay, what are we dealing with? What's this issue? Business transform list, reach integer I. Oh. Well, I believe we actually made a mistake down here. I suspect that this needs actually to be order. This needs to be -1. Because so far we haven't tested this particular line of code when we have multiple things in the destination. Okay, let's give that a try now. T. Nope, still has the same issue. Right. This should be temp, not order. Weird naming scheme makes it confusing. I was not as good at coding when I made this. But that's how it is. You always get better, so your old stuff is worse. Okay, target. And what? Oh, I think my mouse was just accidentally on that. Look at that. 2 swords. Alright, I'm done. Goodbye.